Hello, I'm Robbie of the McFly Variety, and welcome back to Appaloosa Plains. We're starting with a quick look at the transit changes I had to make between episodes. The tram line broke from being too long, so I added in a metro line, and even went the extra mile to add in some bus lines, you see that, to larger neighborhoods without transit snaking through it. I did this off camera because it was just me saying a stop here, a stop here, and a stop here. Plus, I wanted to get right into the Dusty Lumber Company. But first, let's take a look at some transit numbers. We have 5 new bus lines. This is the first bus lines of the entire city altogether. Our largest one being Brookboro, right? It's this neighborhood right back here. Okay. The 3 Jana lines are the pedestrian areas, and our Club Kristen line is the neighborhood right there next to it. Surprisingly, the neighborhoods have better passengers than the pedestrian areas. And I'm assuming that pedestrian areas have a way of making the residents of that area prefer walking, that's what I'm trying to say. Which is really interesting. You'd think they'd want to use more public transit. Over here in our tram lines, our Alpha line got split between the Appaloosa Tech line and the West line. The West line takes you all the way out to the nuclear power plant and just comes right through this area. It turns around, as we can see, it turns around right there. And then the Appaloosa Tech line is the other half of that goes towards the east side of the map, past the football stadium and the university. That's why we called it the Appaloosa Tech line. The Beta line, the BNN0070 direct lines, and the Gamma line all got left alone, but we did replace all of the cars with these shorter versions that only hold 200 people, and it feels just a little bit more realistic, and it actually helps them get through junctions a lot better. They're not holding up traffic when they sit in a certain spot. I also did make sure to use only one, like the West line stops here and the Appaloosa Tech line stops here, but they do not stop next to or at the same stop, and that allows them to flow through as needed. See your lines over you. Next up, we can look at our metro lines. We have a West line that goes all the way out to the. Can you stop? Goes all the way out to the nuclear power plant, and our East line is the one that goes through the university. All right, and now that we've handled our issues with public transit, we can move right into what we want to do this episode, which is going to be rebuilding this forest industry into the Dusty Lumber Company. That's the correct name for it. So to get started on that, we're going to completely de-zone this space. These are both garbage. I think being right here in this neighborhood, we're gonna keep at least one of these. And I'm trying to make sure we think about all the details. So let's start by getting rid of trees so that we can define what we want where and then put the trees back. So now, of course, the first thing we got to worry about when it comes to forestry or these industries in general is getting these main buildings in. I'm going to take a look at our typography here. Maybe having this oh, that fits too perfectly. We'll put it on the inside. This starts us off with a sawmill, a small tree plantation, and a small log yard. Right. Now I can already tell you this is going to be a lot of time jumping in this episode because I have to actually make my way through the levels of the... Yeah, we have to make our way through the levels of everything. We'll go ahead and turn on all our policies. We do have fire coverage, I see that. There's a fire station there and there, but this is the headquarters. There's a firehouse and yeah. So this is a fire station, not a firehouse. How big is this? It's pretty big, but it is the cool new building. Do we want to replace our old building? Being that the trees area is definitely going to be, well, can it fit very nicely in one of these? It can. I'm concerned about putting something that far in, but it also just kind of makes sense. We kind of want to bring this area into the future, even though it's going to have a lot of trees. They're being built specifically, and this is our police station. Let's see, we definitely need the police station to stick around. Do we want the new bigger one? Oh, it's not really that much bigger. Could we just even pull that into here? Can you get a building that's there you go. This old style building. Let's go ahead and put that right there. Get rid of the other house. Yes. We have, this is going to stay. If anything, it's actually probably going to end up in the middle of some trees. And with that, it also makes me think about, no, not that, this. Do we have there's that there, and this over here. I think a road's going to have to be deleted already. We'll go ahead and get rid of this one and put in that there, and there. With this dead center. We can even go ahead and class her up a little bit with a nice dirt path. Oop, we don't want that. Alright, we'll get a small logging yard here. And how big are the sawmills? They're a little bit sizable, but not too insane. That's a nice placement. We'll put that right here. Alright, this is that educational moment where we learned that forest locking is not about making sure the trees stay in place. It's about whether or not the trees create forest industry. So, we're going to come through here again. Get rid of all these trees here, and we're going to just put them right back. Level 2. There we go. We have our small tree sapling field, a forestry workers barracks, sawdust storage, furniture factory. I like the idea of that, and a biomass pellet plant. Now, let's actually, real quick, let's look at that. So I don't really do a whole lot with these all the time, and that's a big building, but you should be able to fit it in kind of nicely somewhere, right? So it's a bit more on the dude. It couldn't fit any more perfectly. That just found its location right there. It takes plain timber and paper. Paper is a production by pulp mills and biomass pellet plants. So, that means that definitely needs to be the next thing we put down, is a biomass pellet plant. How big is this building? It's also the same width, and it fits very perfectly right there, which, right up against the back of those buildings, does make sense to me. Alright, next things to worry about, not the small log yard, sawdust storage. This one, you know what, we might back off of these specialized looking ones and go more for the truly industrial looking ones, the more city center-esque types. That's a big building. Yeah, I don't think I like that. This one does fit really nicely right here. What else did we get in the upgrade? The small tree sapling field. Don't think I want something like this. I think I'm waiting on the larger sizes. But we could... workers barracks. There's the last thing. Doesn't have a really good fit anywhere. It's also kind of a strange looking building to have in the middle of the city. So we'll go ahead and back off of that. Now while we're waiting on that, I want to go ahead and do some road updates. So we'll, Dusty has a very similar concept in mind when it comes to how he worked with BD&D on the farming industry. So he wants to keep a similar idea to this. We're revamping this area. We're making it really, really viable and nice for everyone who lives here. Someone can still walk down the road here and everything's updated. So we're gonna put in these new roads just like they previously had, or just like they previously did over in BD&D. And we could probably even go as far as to use our new 3-lane one-ways. And we're gonna need some more workers too. So let's get those buildings in for the needed workers, which I want to do in the form of more fields. It's only one in. That's interesting. Do I really need this road? I'm not sure I do need it. At the very least, I don't need that. We could even... So that's 1 over, this is 1 over. What if we just went ahead and... You already got a garbage issue, bud. So this is kind of the fields. This is already kind of finding itself a new home. Put it on the main road there. And get this last bit of space back here filled in. Level 3. We got a printing press now, and a medium tree plantation, and a large log yard. Now, a couple thoughts. I looked around in some things. Now let's actually start with this. What is this? The printing press? So those are going to be pass-ups, but what is this medium one? Oh, goodness gracious. The medium one works so nicely. Workspaces 40, 20. So does it just effectively double up in one building? Production rate 8,000 units. Production rate 4,800 units. So I'm going to say that we leave these alone. So we actually are getting more production out of them like this. We don't have the available jobs, so we'll need to add a little bit more of something in here. But until we get to that point, first of all, I want to come in and add in this parking garage. I think part of making this space look like it's a part of the city is definitely going to be a matter of putting in some extra things like a parking garage. And plus they kind of just look good for this area. Now, do we have, there's entrances here, the main one being here, up, that's what I wanted to see right there. So let's say we take these trees out. I think it's so funny how they do that. Now, back to this. We're going to need to add some more anything in here in order to be able to continue a level up. So we'll throw that down there. How many more jobs do we need after that? 493. We need 550 in order to level up to level 4. So I think I want to swap this out somehow. Just come in here to our... Ooh, that fits really nicely. So what if I said do that? We'll just move this out of the way, right? We'll just move it over there. We'll do 2 of these back to back. Cool. We'll call one... is furniture a thing on here? No. Plain timber, and the other one can be Unique factory products. There we go. Yeah, I like this. We can fill both. That way we have a little bit of pile up in case something else happens, and we'll empty this. So we'll start shifting all its stuff over to the other one. It's got 300 tons. It's got 250 tons. That's okay. I think 250 tons is plenty. Level 4, engineered wood plant, soft paper factory, wood chip storage, a forestry maintenance building, I like the idea of that, and a large tree sapling field. Engineered wood plants manufactured forestry special goods plain timber. This processing building require raw forest product to operate. Processing building need to be placed inside industry area. It has 90 workplaces and production rate of 6,400. So, is that just like the upgraded version of this? I guess we can look through here. Let's see, 3,246 workplaces. How much bigger is it? It's bigger, all right. But it kind of makes sense for the spacing we put in. Let's say we put one there. How does that look? It looks silly with the parking space there. Maybe we can make that look better. Let's go ahead and, yeah, just do that. Now, got this building like that. Pull in from here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Turn this one around. Bring it into where we actually do want it. Let's take it off the main road, right? Just right there. Huge logging. We can go ahead and set this one to empty and this one to fill. What if we... I think the idea of that, this one right here, makes enough sense to come in and do something about it. We'll back it off of that road, right? And we'll set this one to fill. Oh, I need to turn off parking. Parking's being very, irritating me right now. And we'll come down here and set this one to empty also. In fact, we could just go ahead and pull that up here, so that maybe you could empty into it a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and add in these little offices here and here. Kind of give this a little bit more of a central space kind of feel. The forestry maintenance building is a big one. Let's go this side, and then I can use this space for something else, like maybe more offices can go here, or oh, it's a good looking building. Maybe more offices can go here or something like that, right? So it kind of helps blend the space back into itself. Level 5, and there we are. It took a second, but it was well worth the wait. In between those clips, I think I did mostly just some lane markings, the really hard detail things, and all the little lines in the middle of the road. Stuff that's really not that enjoyable to watch. We did do a little bit of correction with some of these roads. I might do the same thing on the other side. I'm not really positive just yet, but just a lot of like details. The lane math of stuff. And did I already completely miss one? Yes. So that's all taken care of with level 5. Let's take a look at that pulp mill. I want to see how big is it. Which is it? This one? Pulp mill. Level 5. Oh my goodness. She's a big one. Is she bigger than... I don't think so. Is this something I could replace it with? So say we said this one goes. Which... okay, whatever. We're gonna say this one goes, and we put this in its. It does. It's an exact fit, exact same size, and a little bit further, a little bit bigger in the middle. I think just looks a little bit nicer. It's got another 70 plus. That's 25 workers. Another 25 workers on it. Math on camera is a bad idea. So, but that bigger building right there in the middle just makes sense. I think it just looks better. And that there is the Dusty Lumber Company. It fits really nicely with the edge of the city, how it flowed out. Before it was just kind of it just didn't look right. But with these industries, it really helps flow out. You can create bigger spaces that really help the aesthetic of everything. It kind of makes sense. It's at the edge of the city, right before suburb. It's clean industry too, so you can't complain about it being a problem with pollution. Now it is an issue with noise pollution, but that's okay. We're gonna let that be. Now, I think the last we're gonna be worried about is getting some details in here. I'm trying to decide between large density residential here, because this has a high-rise band, right? Yes. So let's say we put some high-density residential here. And maybe I could even go as far as none of this is needing that, so we can just take this out, right? We could probably do the same here. And against this part, I'm thinking more about it being... Put that tree's back. This would be a fill-in of office, I think. Oh, that, say this. Now, this will probably turn into these instead. Right, and we could even, we're gonna need to put down some fences here. Now, in this backspace, I'm thinking we can grab some kind of taller tree. Maybe not that tall. Something a bit more brush-like, like this right here. Cool. Yeah, this is perfect. I should use this more often. I don't like your placement, sir. You can go ahead and goodbye. Yeah, you can go elsewhere. In fact, we put a few more trees in their place. Cool. Nice. I think I just found a new favorite tree. Definitely covers up a lot more than this one does. And with that, guys, I think we're going to put an end to this episode. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye now.